Hi everyone. I'm trying to see what bird is on the suet. I can't tell. I see the head and the tail. Both of them are black. And oh, there it is. It's a red-winged. It's a red-winged blackbird. Okay. So, taking attendance, we have, yep. He's saying he's present, RC. And Milo is down there under the paper towel. I think you can, yep, making himself very evident right there. And Kiki is right there. And of course, finches and parakeets. Okay. So let's see. I have two stories. Two stories, two true stories that happened last week, in fact. And then kind of a kind of update around here, and then some Yum Box things. I guess we'll start with that. So last weekend, my parents and I. So my parents and I filmed 2 Yum Box videos, and back to back, and so I'll just, and then there's another one sitting there, and then there's another one that's has been shipped but has not arrived yet. So I will probably upload the first one next week, and then the following Wednesday will probably be another lock screen video. I think I have enough sets for to do another one. I'm not sure on that though. But if that's what I'm doing, then the week after that will be the second Yum Box. And then, of course, the week after that will probably be the part 2 lock screen video. Unless, because somewhere in there will be the first Wednesday in June, and then that's where I'll be doing the Instagram pics of the day video slideshow, for me. So however the calendar falls. Can't tell what's going. A lot of birds. So yeah. So that's fun, exciting. Let's see. Today is my niece's birthday. She's 17. I don't know if she's watching or not, but if you are, happy birthday. I can't believe she's 17. I remember she was born. I remember Mom and I sitting here waiting, and finally we got the call that it's okay to head to the hospital. So we got there a half hour after she was born. It was amazing. So now she's 17. I don't believe it, and she's just so beautiful and so talented and smart. Yeah. Anyway, so let's see. Okay, so two bird stories. Okay, so last Monday, last Monday was my niece's band concert, last one of the school year, and it was a Monday, not important. And so we went to that, and by the time we got home, it was about 9 o'clock. So I thought, well, I might as well just go to bed because that's about the time I normally start heading to bed anyway. So I did what I normally do when I make my lunch, get the coffee maker set up, stuff like that. And while I'm doing that, Mom was over here cleaning up the doggy corner, the potty corner, because we had been at that concert for a good couple hours, and so the potty corner was need to be cleaned. So finally she got done with that about the same time I was ready to go to bed. So all I had to do was say goodnight to all the birds, grab Daisy, and then head to bed. So I stand about right here, and I say goodnight to all of them down the line, and I get to over there, kind of where where I'm sitting in the hallway intersect. And so I'm kind of standing there, and I said goodnight to RC, and he comes, and he was crawling up. He likes to roost on the floor of the playroom that he's sitting in. He comes crawling out from under there, and he's sitting at that corner, and he does this. When birds do that, not like this, but when like that. When birds do that, that means they are something really has captured their attention, and it's something that I need to pay attention to. It could be a bug, it could be a spider, it could be something that's fallen on the floor. But it's enough to be a little startling. So, this is kind of like, oh, what's that? And this is like, hey, what's that? So it's kind of a more, it's more of an emergency. No, that's not the right word. But anyway, so I went to look to see what he was looking at, and that's when things happen really fast. So I started to say something, I think, to him, and I started to look down on the floor, and then something went by me really fast, going this way, and then it went up, it went that way, and then all the other birds started freaking out, especially these guys. And I'm still standing there, and I look over this way, and I look at on top above the door, and then I said to Mom, I said, there's a bird in here. Obviously not these birds, but outside bird. So she runs to the basement to get my father up here. And we were like, what do we do? I said, well, we got to get it outside, And so this bird is like, it started there, and then it flew to that end of the living room, to a couple spots, and then back this way to the window by the table, and then down into the kitchen, and then back again, back. So it just kept doing this, back and forth, back and forth. So then my father, he manned himself over by the door. He opened up the garage door and opened up the door. So that if the bird came by, he'd open the door, that was the idea. Mom and I are running back and forth, trying to follow this bird so we don't lose track of it. Well, in the middle of all this, Mindy she sees that, the door is open, it's time to go outside. pretty soon they're hollering at her. It's dark out, of course. They're hollering at her to get back in the house. So one of them ran and got her, and they, Mom put her in the bathroom and shut the door. And then it's like, you know, so it's like, Mom's like, do you have a net? I'm like, no. When did I ever have a net? So I said, try a towel. And at one point, the bird landed on the curtain by the window and then dropped down like below. And Mom, she almost had it. She almost had it with her hand, and then it fluttered, you know. And so finally, I just kind of stayed there. Mom kind of stayed there. And of course, he had the door. And finally, you know, and then somehow finally it got out. And I was like, wow. And then I grabbed Daisy and we went to bed. The next morning, I found a feather on the floor over there. So I saved it. It will be, I took a picture of it. It was my Instagram picture of the day, that day. So you'll see it in the slideshow next month. What kind of bird was it? I have no idea because I had taken my glasses off and it was just a blur to me. I can't tell you, you know, it was, you know, small to medium. It was a lot bigger than a goldfinch and smaller than a robin. That's all I can tell you. The feather that left behind was kind of a gray-brown. My mom thinks that it was a female rose-breasted grosbeak. And they are hanging, there is at least one of them out there. So, since her glasses were on and she had a lot better view of it. So, I'm going with that, you know. So that was not so fun and exciting. Not so fun and too exciting. Especially when, you know, going to bed. So that's story number 1. Story number 2 isn't so fun. Kind of. Thursday, yeah, same week. Thursday was Kiki's Gotcha Day. He's been here for 3 years. I don't know if you probably remember when I got him. So it's been 3 years. And so I got home from work that day. And so I'm doing what I normally do. I change all the waters. I let him out. And then being it's Thursday, and then on Thursdays I change everybody's food because since I had changed it on Sunday, and by now they were all pretty much empty. And so I did that, and then I looked in the finch cage, and I noticed that their spray bottle holder was empty. So it's like, well, better fill that. So I stuck my arm into the door. This one by their food dish. Stuck my hand in there to take out the holder. That's that white thing right there. And so I took it out, put more spray bottle in, closed it, and then as I'm putting it back, now it's got two hooks that kind of swing around, and so there's a trick to it, but basically you got to hang both hooks on the same bar of the cage, otherwise it's, you know, slanted. And so it's you kind of really look at it to make sure you get it right. While I'm doing that, all of a sudden Kiki climbs on my shoulder. And which he never does. Never. And last time he did that was when we used to sit on the couch together. That's the last time he did that. He never gets on my shoulder over here. So I'm like, oh, hello. And then, so I started talking to him and started taking pictures with my phone because that's what I had closest to me. And I started saying, you know, it's your gotcha day. Are you remembering, you know, how we spent an hour in the bathroom, you know, getting to know each other, and you were on my shoulder. And that's what I was saying to him. And after about 30 seconds or so, he decided, no, I want to go back. So then he stretched out, and I let him go back to his perch, which is this perch. And so I did that, and then I looked in the finch cage again and saw that, you know, all the finches were in one line on the spray meal holder, and they're all eating. You know, they had brand new food too, but apparently the spray meal is better. And so I was like, well, I thought, well, that's, you know, that's kind of cute. And then I noticed that there were 5 of them. There's 6 finches. I'm like, okay, who's missing? So I took a quick look and saw that it was Carmel, the mom. And like, okay, where's Carmel? So I kind of took a look around the cage and I didn't see her. So I was like, oh, okay, she must be in the coconut. So then I looked inside the hole of the coconut, and I was like, and I could see this thing on the inside up against the hole. It was like a wall about halfway up. It was just kind of like leaning up against the hole. And I saw that. I was like, oh, I knew what it was. So she had passed. So I reached in again through the small door in the big door, if that makes sense. So this door right here. So, cause I can get more of my arm through there. So I reached in through there to get her body out of the coconut. It was hard because apparently she must have passed on her back, so her wings had fallen outward, and then her head was kind of crooked like this. So trying to maneuver her body out of the hole was a little challenging. While I'm doing that, Kiki, who was apparently sitting there watching all this, he goes, oh. Again, he doesn't do this. So I think he knew what was going on. He knew what happened. And I mean, at first I thought he got on my shoulder to try to alert me to the fact that, hey, you gotta notice that. But now I think he was sad. I think he was sad and he wanted comfort. He does watch them. He watches them a lot. He'll sit there and he'll do that and kind of make little noises, you know, at them. So I think he may have seen when she died, or I don't know how that works with birds. If they, I don't know. We could get into a spiritual conversation here. Souls and spirits and afterlives and birds and animals and whatever. But so I think he needed a little comfort, and he was sad, and then, you know, then of course later on I was looking at the finches, and it's like, okay, this was their mom, all of them, all the ones that are in there, all of them, she was their mom. So all of these birds were born, hatched in this cage, in that coconut. So it's like, are they feeling any kind of, you know, something? And I finally realized that no, not really, which was kind of weird. Maybe finches don't feel things like that. because they were sitting there eating spray meal while her body was still in the coconut. So, you know, I've had animals that went through extreme, you know, a whole week of extreme grief, you know, when their cage mate or whatever, you know, died. But these guys, you know, and you think about it, you know, so Carmel, she was 5.5 years old. They normally live 2 to 4 is what I had when I Googled it originally. She had and lost 2 mates. She had 8 children. 3 of them died. 2 on the same day. She laid who knows how many eggs that did not become children. So she really lived a long life. I hopefully fulfilling life, as much as I could provide. And so yeah. So that's that news. And let's see. Okay, so I'm going to yeah. Okay, so I'm going to I'm gonna end this. Okay, so I'm gonna end this video with I think I'm gonna end it with some pictures. And so Silas had a birthday a week after mine. He's now 12, which blows my mind. And so he had an actual birthday party, and he hasn't had one in like 3 years, like with friends and everything. So he had like 5 friends come over, and I guess they had a fun time. And then Jen, she had a friend of hers that she knows who has a lot of reptiles, and she does a reptile show for kids. So she had her come over with a bunch of her critters, and talked about them and passed them around, and of course I had to see this. Yes. And so so I took some pictures, and I'm going to include them at the end. And that's why I asked you last week whether you how you feel about that or not. And so somebody, and anyway, she suggested I just do a kind of a warning, I guess. And I think I'll just do the non-snakes and then the snakes pictures. So if you want to see those non-snake animals, but you don't want to see the snake animals, then I won't mix and match them. How's that? So, the only other thing is, lock screen pictures. I started to not type in the captions. It's a real which really saves a lot of time for me. You all claim to like that, so I'll keep doing that. If you really need something, if you really need to know the caption of what, like where that waterfall or mountain is, just ask me. Like I said, I keep those pictures for a few days, a week, or whatever, before I delete them. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, so I gotta get started on this video, on those pictures, because I gotta be out of here in 2.5 hours. So I gotta get that done. So, see you in the comments, and of course, Sunday's video and anywhere else. Say bye.